welcome to an exciting and beautiful Saturday afternoon or evening, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Real Blue TV, and I'm joined by Lemon Kiwi tonight for some exciting collegiate action. It's the semifinals, the grand finals afterwards. We're coming to a close on this postseason here, Kiwi.
It's going to be a good one, and thousands of dollars of scholarship pricing on the line. 5,000 for first, 3,000 for second, 1,500 for third, and 500 for fourth. And we'll have the third place match off stream, but you guys can go to UCA on Twitter to find out who's winning if you don't want to stick around for the full thing.
Yeah, plenty of big dollars going around in the form of scholarships. Remember, these are students first and they're athletes afterwards. It's the same way with any other sport in college. So these people, these children, these young adults, these future generation, they're looking to get an education as well as some big prizes here today, brought to you by the UCEA, the Unified Collegiate Esports Association. But today's featured matchup, the University of Missouri versus the University of Texas Dallas Comets. That's the A team. Remember, they had two teams. They actually had to go up against each other in the quarterfinals. And since we're talking about the quarterfinals, let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket for the playoffs so far. And like I said, they had to face the B and A team together right there in the quarterfinals. We saw St. Clair College go down to the University of North Texas, which was a kind of a throw up. St. Clair College kind of speed ran through Augustana College. And they were looking really poised to make a run through this bracket and kind of be that Cinderella, but they just couldn't come out on top. And Miami of Ohio, of course, with one of our favorite players to watch, Kiwi Fozic, still chugging. And I mean, who do you think is going to come out of this victory in the other matchup that we aren't going to see here in the semifinal?
I mean, just talking about the match we casted together, Miami and SCAD, man, that was not close, right? It was like a 30-minute series. Miami are looking like a really strong team, so I'm excited to see how they will do against North Texas, but we're in the semis. It will be Missouri versus UTD, and that's going to be a really close matchup. We were talking, before the series started of who we thought was going to win, and I really don't know. Who do you think is going to come out ahead?
Well, I was taking a look at some rosters, and when you have someone on the side of University of Missouri named Big Al, who's been through the Contenders run in 2019, he did it again here in the first season of the Contenders in 2020. They had some success there. He had some success way before that as well. I remember watching him play in the Philadelphia Fusion Showcase back in 2018, I think, and they won. I think that was the team Path to Poverty with one of the best logos I've ever seen. Big old
Yes.
zero and a dollar sign right there. So I like the creativity behind that. But, when you have someone like that who has this experience, it goes to say not to the same scale as when we talk about Fozics being on that Miami of Ohio team, but there is some advantage there with that skill and that knowledge and that leadership that he brings to this team, kind of in the same way that Fozics brings to his team, but just not at that scale since Fozics made it to the OWL.
Yeah, definitely Big Al's gonna be the player to watch because he brings that Contenders experience to Mizzou, but UTD, I got to cast them a while ago in a different collegiate tournament, and they just look so good in the Reaper meta way back when, and Stasis is gonna be my player to watch for UTD, so, just with Stasis and how he's still playing alongside Louis and Kinetic, who are at least still part of the core of UTD for several months now, I think I'm gonna give the edge to UTD to win this series, but I think it's gonna be really close.
I mean, yeah, we're in the semifinals, so both of these teams, high caliber, no one to shake a stick at here. But when we talk about play styles, you've seen UTD play. I've seen Missouri play. They have that. They excel at that rush and that death ball composition. They were the 2020 NACE Spring Cup champions earlier this year, and they just look dominant. They are the number one seed coming into this. So what kind of play style does UTD have to bring to kind of counter that Missouri play style they're going to bring?
I think way back when, Stasis was a really solid Reaper to look at. They used to play a lot of Rush, like you said, with the Reinhardt of Louis. He's going to be the main tank for UTD, and Stasis acts as this third tank, this supreme DPS that I think is going to either make or break this team. So UTD, I think, stick to the playstyle and you're best at, which is the Rush. But depending on the map, if the high ground is really important, I know that Louis has a solid Winston, so they're really versatile in that way that they can bring out whatever strategy fits that map. While as Mizzou, of course, they have someone with contenders experience. So, of course, you know all the strategies that are popular and work right now. So, I think it's going to be up to the dive. And if someone has a really good Hammond, I hope they bring it out. But we'll see if Louis or someone on Mizzou feels comfortable on Hammond.
We might just see a Hammond come out. Our first map, being a control map, will be Busan here in the semifinals. It will be Oasis in the grand finals. But right now, we're in the semis. Missouri versus UTD. We're going to Busan. What would you like to see from both of these teams on Busan? You just broke down pretty much these team compositions. So what are you expecting to see the Hammond now that you know it's Busan?
It I hope so. Busan's one of like all the points are very open. Think of Sanctuary, the one with the big drum in the middle. There's lots of space for Hammonds and Tracers to go for flanks. So I hope to see more of a Hammond Tracer. And second DPS can vary between something that's more stationary, like a Widow or an Ashe, or something that flanks with the Tracer, like a Sombra. So there's a lot of different things that can work. And that's what's so awesome about the meta recently is that there's many compositions that work and not one thing that you have to run or you lose. If we go to downtown Busan, then it's very long range where you can have a Widowmaker and an Ashe for sure, and you can still be comfortable. But either way, I don't expect that much rush, and more, I think we're going to see some dive either with the Winston or the Hammond.
Yeah, and before we go into anything else further, I just want to remind everyone out there that these are college students. So if you're looking to get into college, or you want to play esports, but your parents want you to go to college, guess what? Nowadays, 2020, you can do the best of both worlds. So make sure you tell your parents, hey, these schools have great esports programs, and you're watching them live right now. So as we head into map number 1 here, Busan, Missouri, University of Missouri, or Mizzou, as Kiwi likes to say. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you noticed, but Kiwi actually lost the Simon Says game to me earlier backstage. So she has to stay perfectly still on screen throughout the entire broadcast. So if she moves at all, you guys let me know in chat, all right? Because then she owes me a lot of money.
Yeah, guys, don't blink. It's a staring contest. I'm not sure if I'm blinking in that picture. It kind of looks like I am. But we can at least start now, and this is looking like Busan downtown, where you already see Big Al on the Reaper, the Sombra to match with it. So how this works is you have the Sombra that goes for those initial hacks. They can do a lot of scouting before the fight starts if they can confirm a hack, especially onto a Mercy. If you could get the Lucio even better, you send that Reaper in for the kill.
Yeah, like you said, Big Al going to bring some big old DPS to the team for the side of Mizzou. Louis, though, on that Hammond, like you said you wanted to see, a little bit of an open map here. And a couple shots coming out from the Echo, and now we switch over to Louis on that Hammond. Let's see if he's going to get anything started. And the Sombra is behind him. God didn't get the hack off initially, tried to go for it once again, and had to reinitiate himself back out of that fight, and going through like the bowling ball that Hammond is often. Now big damage coming out from Freedom on that Echo for the side of UTD. I mean, both these teams, high caliber, and just look at the playstyle right now. They know when to disengage from fights. They know when to group up, and the abilities are coming out perfectly timed right now. Both these teams are looking really good in this team fight. It's still the first team fight to begin the game. Still no kills, and just as I say that, Blade will fall. Louis, that's an even trade for both teams there. Coalescence does come out, and full charged ultimates are coming out in the first team fight here, Kiwi.
So Missouri, they waited in the small room beside of the point until the point unlocked. Then they went towards the point and stayed as hidden and tried to avoid as much poke damage as possible. And UTD just kind of looked at him. They let him cap first, and then Missouri, they acted once they had Coalescence, once they had that that healing advantage. So Missouri played that really slow and really smart, as there's a hack onto Tinspire. Amaze is just trying to build up towards that EMP.
Yeah, and once they get that EMP, big things could happen for the side of Mizzou, as they do have control of the point, over 50% and climbing now 0 for the side. And a big duplicate onto Winston, as he's going to try and go in and help that team out. Big old fist to the face. Spiritual and Diamond fall, but 3 members from the side of UTD will fall as well. This looks like Missouri might be able to get a handle on this team fight. It looked like they were losing out on it at first. And it looks that way once again, as 4 members will go down. 5, as Diamond has the drop in his pocket for this next team fight, and the point will swap over to the control of the comments.
Yeah, UTD just invested just that much more. You had the Valkyrie, the Hammond Mines, the Tracer Pulse Bomb, the Duplicate. Like, UTD invested so much later on in the fight, and all they had to do was withstand the EMP from Amaze, and that's going to take a while for him to get back. But Missouri will be able to attack with Coalescence and a Sound Barrier if things don't go so well, and Kinetic is a little bit behind on it. So Missouri have an advantage in this fight.
Yeah, we did see the EMP come out in the last fight. Not much value off of it, especially when you get team wiped shortly after here. But Kinetic does fall. Diamond able to drop the sick beats, bro. To that guy in our last matchup. I like the name, but big old Primal Rage coming out and 3 kills in favor of UTD. Missouri looking to fall off the back end of this fight here now as Lucio's getting chased down. Kinetic will finally fall. Little Skirite to help out there, and Echo now in the duplicate of Reaper. It looks like he's going to go Reaper v Reaper. Death Blossom not available yet for Big Al, but he is looking to get it pretty fast. Zui does have the Diva Bomb if he elects to use it, and a big Death Blossom from the duplicate. He does find Diamond with it.
There's a Sound Bear from UTD and a Valkyrie, so this fight is not even over, but because Missouri have had the advantage or just had the point control this whole time, they've been able to accumulate up to 99, so if UTD don't win this fight, it's over for the round.
A lot of big tank kills coming out. Stasis does fall. Big Al now does have the Death Blossom available. Doesn't look like he's going to elect to use it. Diva gets taken out of mech now. That's Tinspire. Still putting some shots down. Oh, and he's getting flanked from behind by Amaze. On fire. He found another kill. And Diamond picks up a little bit of the help from Sombra as well onto Freedom. And now it looks like Missouri in overtime might just be able to close this out. Last fight territory for UTD. Do have a couple members with the speed boots on trying to get there. It's not enough though. Missouri, they're able to hang on, fight back, 45% in favor of UTD. You know, like we said, these aren't going to be 100 zeros, or at least we don't think so. Round 1 in favor of Missouri.
I would have liked, so Freedom is on the Echo, and he actually duplicated a Reaper. So the point of the Echo is that you're able to get your ultimate a lot faster than your regular heroes, so you want to go for big impact ultimates. And Death Blossom, very low impact, especially when the other team has a Diva that can matrix all of that damage. So a lot of the time you're going to see players copy tank ults. So whether it's a Diva, a Primal Rage from Winston, or the Mines from Hammond, and this allows you to just clear the space, especially on control. It's all about just getting the objective and getting the kills after. So I would like to see Freedom go for a copy on the Diva, use self-destruct, and then once you split the other team, then you go for the kills.
Yeah, and you know, they didn't have a Sombra, so they couldn't even hack the defense matrix out of Diva's arsenal there, unlike Amaze was doing for the side of Missouri. But here we are. Round number 2, and the high ground looks to be in control on the right side here by Missouri. A little bit of rotations coming through from both teams now. Shots coming down from Freedom as he gets stuck in the corner with what I thought he was going to die to Big Al, but he's able to pick up the kill and keep himself alive. And a big slam down there from Hammond now, and Louis looking to get some DPS as he's trying to find his control on this point here. He bowls himself into someone's face and gets the kill. Stasis finds the Moira in the back line. Freedom will fall, and Stasis is able to pick up another kill onto the Winston. That's a huge pick. No tanks left, and Swee's on his way back. And it looks like UTD might have found a way to get around Missouri's rotations and find their way onto the point.
Yeah, Stasis and Freedom worked really well together. Stasis identified someone below the point that was low, and then you saw Freedom fly in. And the issue is that once you're below 50% HP, the Echo does that much more damage. You send them in for the execute. So they have a bit of a better situation for neutral fight wins. Missouri are working towards EMP. Amaze almost has it.
Yeah, you know what they say. When you need healing and you see a healer, you smile. When you see Echo, you try to run. Kinetic and Boosty Kaka will go down. That's another name that I just enjoy saying. I was a big Kaka fan in soccer. I don't know if you followed that there, Kiwi, but EMP is available. I don't think they're going to have to use that here as they are finding kills everywhere and each way as the entire team will get wiped there from UTD, and point will switch over to the side of Missouri, who are going to start earning percentage for the first time this round. 46 in favor of UTD, though.
This is good. They were Missouri were able to win the fight without using EMP, so now you got EMP and a Deadeye. It's not the most common combo, but you still go for it. EMP self-destruct would be even better, so you can wait for Zui. May still goes for it, though.
Yeah, and here's the Deadeye. Nothing comes of it. Stace is able to find McCree, though, before he can even let it fully charge. Self-destruct comes through, finds one on the Diamond. That's a huge pick onto the Lucio. Louis, though, gets resurrected to come back to life and do some more damage as a big old fluffy ball as Stasis finds another double kill. Kinetic picking up one himself, and now Stasis looking like a pro himself, going off on this Tracer and giving Big Al some problems on the McCree. It looks like they did swap that over, and oh my goodness, just as I say that, they're going to swap over to the May. Kiwi, what do you think about this swap?
I don't love it. It's very difficult to attack to, but better to defend and maybe an easier winning condition, but they just completely sacrificed their damage of the Reaper. So you're going for double utility DPS. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah, you know, May is Bay is what they've been saying for about 4 years now, and big ol' EMP comes out. That hits 4 members of Missouri as Blade is falling low. So is Big Al. He ice blocks to keep himself alive. Self-destruct coming in. That finds no one. A big Winston bubble went up as well. Hammond, Louis does have the minefield, but he goes down. Freedom falls as well. And Zui is the only member of Missouri to be taken out at this moment. Stasis now trying to hide himself around the corner. He blinks onto point to kind of keep that overtime ticking away. And he gets killed so that he doesn't get staggered out. That's a good play. He's going to regroup here, and let's see if Missouri can hold this once again.
I think Louis is going to start mauling anytime now. You got to play into a May and a Sombra, someone who can slow you and freeze you, someone who can hack you and stop you, and then you get booped away by the Lucio. So Louis, I wonder how long he sticks on that. I'd like to see maybe a Rhine or something that can withstand some of this CC, but he's already walled off from the team.
Yeah, just as you said it. Gets walled off from the team, gets frozen, gets shot. He just gets... That's a hamster that's getting flushed or buried in the backyard right now. Big Al, though, has the ice block. He does have the Blizzard available, and they find a kill on the Tinspire. Amaze, it's his turn to go off as he finds a double kill. Zui gets a double kill. Zui gets a triple kill. And University of Missouri now hot in the driver's seat as they have 90% and climbing. Oh my goodness, what a turnaround here.
This is Mizzou knowing exactly what they need to do is stop Louis, but he's already on the point. He's put mines down. He's buying time for his team, and UTD are coming in with Valkyrie.
Yeah, I mean, once they started putting the pressure on Louis, the team started having trouble. And UTD just need to gain control of this point for enough time for overtime to tick away. But we have overtime for both sides initiated and ready to go. As the point is being captured, the hack comes out. Blade is hacked, and Freedom duplicates. The Sombra throws out an EMP and gets a few with it. And 4 kills come in the favor of UTD now. And the Comets look like they're going to take round 2 as overtime is going to tick away after the recap.
I can't believe we're going to round 3 in Missouri. I like the May. It's just a little overkill just to deal with one Hammond. I think the Tracer Echo is a difficult composition to play against. In Missouri, they lost their clear winning condition, right? It was EMP, EMP and the Reaper. And then I know that maybe Big Al was having issues finding value when Tinspire was able to matrix all of it on the Diva and constantly checking on him, but Big Al's back on the Reaper. He knows what's up.
Yeah, I think, he swapped over to the McCree, tried to get a couple of flashbangs on that Tracer and take care of her. That was unsuccessful, or not as well executed as maybe he would have liked. He got the ultimate, nothing came of that. He switched over to the May, and they started focusing Louis, and things started going their way. They just couldn't win those backline fights against people like Stasis and Freedom, who, of course, doing that, they're low, execute them, and duplicate the Sombra, which was huge for Freedom there at the end. He was able to get an EMP. Now we go into round 3 here with the big old drum in the middle. Let's see who's able to drum up a win here, Kiwi, as you were saying, because this is round 3 and both teams one apiece here. Game 1 of the semifinals. Big Al on that Reaper, not able to charge his ultimate as fast as he'd like so far. Big shots coming out from Stasis, who's been playing great here on the Tracer so far. Diva trying to get away from him, not even going to turn around as he's able to take Tinspire out of mech. Sombra, though, on the chase. See if he'll go for it. Doesn't elect to chase. And now Stasis in the back line. And Amaze looks like the hack will come on to Louis. And that's who they have to focus. That was the problem last round. And now Tinspire electing to back up. Let's see if they're going to be able to take him out of the fight. And they do.
I mean, Amaze already has EMP, so you just know how much he was involved in this fight. Missouri just collapsed on one target. They identify and they go in, and that's how Tinspire got caught out. UTD started running all over the place. They didn't know if it was a winnable fight, and they all played split, so Missouri just ran after singular targets. Easily won that fight without dropping a single person.
Yeah, now Pulse Bomb is available for Stasis. This is looking a lot more like round one did, where the point was being controlled heavily by Missouri. And now Coalescence will come out, or it looks like it's coming out. I can't actually tell right here. I heard the voice line, so I hope I'm right. And it looks like it is, right? Because she has 6% ult charge at the moment. No kills coming through for neither side at the moment. EMP from Amaze is available if they elect to use it. And they do have a duplicate from Freedom, so we could see a double EMP here if they go that route, which I think they should, because they did wondrous things when they duplicated the Sombra last round. And now Minefield will come out from Louis, and Louis is going to try and create some space. Winston, though, does fall finally. That's Blade. And now the driver's seat looking to shift towards the side of UTD as they have ultimates. Maze still with the EMP in his pocket. Will he elect to use it? Self-destruct comes out. Will this find anyone? No. Zui gets taken out. Big Al now no longer in the fight as well. Louis finds a double kill. Stasis again, and Amaze is still over there in the corner playing with health packs. Not really doing much to help the team who's losing around the drum here. Louis finds another double kill. Stasis finds one under Lucio in the back line, and this point will shift to the side of the Comets.
Yeah, UTD played for map controls, so you saw Freedom. He duplicated the Diva, exactly what he needed to do. The self-destruct cleared the point. And he had Louis who got the mines. It separated Blade away from the team, so that was a great first pick. And 6 versus 5, it can only go well from there. And they really conserved their ultimates, and UTD were able to, or hopefully are going to be able to close the gap in the score, because Missouri took a long time to die, took a long time to lose the fight, so they're able to extend to like 80%.
And Big Al having a tough time here on who to focus down. People being shot on his team from all sides here. They got Diva and Louis in their backline right now. Sombra had to disengage from that. Blade with the primal might coming out. Can he find anything? No, he gets a couple hits onto some people. Amaze finds Louis. That's a huge pick for Missouri, as they might be able to make something happen. A Death Blossom will come out, but nothing comes of it, as I mean, the kills are not coming out for Big Al or the side of Missouri right now. Just as I say that, they're able to get 1 kill on the Tinspire and Stasis. That's the big pick that they need for the side of Missouri. Tinspire does get resurrected, however. Kinetic dies to Zui's self-destruct, and Louis is still just going in circles, and no one's even looking at him right now as they're trying to focus down the rest of the Comets. And now he's all alone, spinning around the drum with 6 members of the Missouri team looking at him, and they just can't catch him. They finally do. Freedom instantly dies to Coalescence. Stasis does find Blade with a little bit of dish dash and here and there, but finally Missouri is able to come out on top as they will take game number 1 2-1.
Yeah, UTD comments, they're running that Tracer Echo, which is a little bit more vulnerable than a Sombra Reaper, right? Because Reaper and Sombra, they have escape cooldowns. They have a Tracer that, or they have a Sombra that can translocate out. Reaper has a Wraith. While as Tracer, once you use Recall, you're a little bit of a sitting duck, and a lot of people, once they see that Recall, they can go after you. That's how Stasis was caught out. And Freedom, you fly into the air and you leave, I guess, but you could still get chased down by a Winston or a Hammond. So UTD, the Tracer Echo, takes a lot of synergy to coordinate, and you saw that once the fight started getting chaotic, once they lost a tank, they still didn't go with plan A. They started to scatter and play for time and just poked away and didn't coordinate off of their Echo.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Tinspire out of his mech like pretty much 90% of the game, or at least in my opinion, that's what I thought I saw. I mean, Louis was doing as much as he could. He was doing a lot, especially in that second round where they had to actually swap a couple champs on the side of Mizzou in order to deal with just Louis. And once they were able to focus out Louis, the team pretty much crumbled behind that. They were still able to win that round, but eventually in that third round, Louis wasn't, Louis by himself wasn't enough. I mean, Amaze did have 46 enemies hack that game, but couldn't get enough. And when he was stuck in corners doing these 1v1 situations, it was pretty tough for him to win those or even, get the upper advantage in those. And, like we said in that last round when I was doing the calls there, he was fiddling around with a health pack for about 5 minutes, it looked like. So, engage yourself in the fight, win these 1v1s, get in their back line, get some EMPs, some huge EMPs. That way you can pair them with some other ults and get some big damage, some big kills, find your way into a second victory for the side of Missouri. But someone's got to help out Louis right now. I mean, Stasis is doing everything he can on the Tracer, but someone else has got to step up, whether it's Tinspire or one of the supports that can help Louis out. Someone's got to do it, Kiwi.
I think there was a lot of signs of hope for UTD. I know the score says otherwise, but I think when in the off the break fights, at the start of Mecha Base, they coordinated really well. We had already said they want to fight because of the Tracer Echo, the dive that collapsed around one target. But like I said, once they start losing members, once they're unsure if they want to commit to it, you can tell that there isn't a confident call because they're all sitting around and they're not going on singular targets. They're more trying to run away and they're really letting Mizzou control the pace of the game. And with the Tracer Echo composition, you're the one that has to initiate, you're the one that has to pull the trigger, and you're the one that has to be the confident team, and they can't just take a back seat to what Mizzou want to do.
Yeah, of course. And now that we know what map 2 is, let's hear your thoughts on that. And for those of you at home, map 2, Dorado. We're going to Dorado, one of my favorite maps. And, the other day, Kiwi, I said, we're going to Kings Row for that third game we watched. And that's pretty much like the grandfather of map picks. I would say this is probably the grandfather of like escort map picks. In my opinion, I don't know what you feel like. Could have saw Havana, could have saw Rialto, but we're going to Dorado. What kind of team compositions because you saw both of these teams last game. We saw the Hammond work out nicely for Louis. Will he go to that again on Dorado? I don't think so. We're going to see a lot of Reinhardt play, most likely. We could still see Freedom on that Echo. I think he played fairly nicely on that. We could see the Stasis on the Tracer once again, too. Both these teams like that death ball composition.
Yeah, it really depends on what part of the map of Dorado Point A you want to do. If you want to play close, then yeah, sure, the Reinhardt rush, this totally works to play close, so then you force 2 fights for Point A. But if you want to run some dive, a lot of people on defense like to sit on top of the buildings, they just drop naturally with the Winston, and then they use their jump pack cooldown to get back up. So you can cycle dive compositions on defense or offense. You can play the Reinhardt on the low ground. You can do a lot. You can even play Far Echo up into the sky. This is Dorado. You can play almost every composition, but you have to play certain different parts of the map at it. So we can even see the May if Big Owl wants to return on that hero. You can hold the archway with a May, and that wall takes up that whole archway. So you can look for those isolation picks there too.
Hey, look, Kiwi, Bastion, May, those are my two favorite Overwatch characters, mostly because nobody else likes them that much, or, they don't have the highest popularity or play rate that is. But heading into game 2, here we are. University of Missouri versus the University of Texas Dallas Comets. This is the semifinals, and Missouri leads 1-0 as of right now. We're going to see Missouri on the defensive side. They're bringing out Big Al on that Reaper once again. Amaze on that Sombra once again. And it's pretty much looking like the same composition from the previous game. The only thing that's changed is Blade is playing the Reinhardt instead of the Winston.
With the Reinhardt, usually you see people play around the low ground to around the corner, because Reinhardt, isn't a long-range main tank. You'd play Orisa if you're going to be playing up there, so you can at least add damage while you're protecting the team, but Blade is just going to be a right-click bot, and UTD comments, they can send Louis up there, Freedom can fly up there, and with the Mercy Pocket, Echo's going to be playing a lot like a Pharah in this fight.
Yeah, and they're trying to get the high ground away from Missouri here. Freedom on that Echo once again. I mean, we thought he'd come out with this champ once again, and it looks like he has. Looks like he's going to try and just play the high ground, play these angles, and get these sight lines, and good sight lines there. Louis, though, falling definitely low, has to back up. Will like to get some healing now, and Soldier 76 being played by Stasis this time. We've seen a lot of Soldier come into play in the last couple days, even weeks, actually. And even though Proper's not a huge fan of it, most of the time. I like to see some 76 because that's the true grandfather, isn't it? The dad, the get off my lawn man, you know? So he's looking to push some people off his lawn. Meanwhile, he gets pushed off the high ground and then pushed back to spawn.
Soldier's actually a really good pick these days because he got totally reworked, so he doesn't have that weird spread when he shoots. It's all the bullets will line up, and then there's a bit of a recoil, and as long as you just pull down on your mouse, Soldier almost has perfect aim now, so you can really put out more consistent damage with the Soldier these days, and especially with those Nikes, he can go to that high ground, he can run away pretty well. So UTD have now taken over this high ground, and they're looking down on Mizzou.
Yeah, that's the second time you've called them the Nikes for the sprint. What's your favorite pair of Nikes there, Kiwi? We gotta know which pair Soldier's wearing out there. Big Al does use the Death Blossom. Didn't find any value from it though. And the Ryan shield goes back up so he can back up. And he's gonna elect to go back through, takes the high ground, and he's chasing down to Lucio. Will this work in his favor? He's gonna have to back up, but Lucio comes back into the fight because Freedom was there. Big Al finally finds the kill on the Kinetic. Big Al finds another kill on the Soldier. And, you know, one kill in favor of the Comets, but Missouri right now escorting this payload with success as they are starting to, or excuse me, they're defending this payload with some success.
Yeah, the Reaper's just gonna do more damage close range, and the Soldier, besides just maybe poke damage from a distance, Reaper's gonna win that duel close range, even with the healing of Soldier. So I like that we're both going to the Reaper, but Amaze has EMP. This is a good fight.
Yeah, that's a 5-man EMP. Tinspire the only one not able to get hit by it. And Blade finds a double kill. Big Al, Zwee, Diamond, they each find one apiece, and the last member will elect to jump off the map. Yeah, wave goodbye there, Zwee, because your team just wiped them, baby. And that's another good hold there from Missouri. And now the Comets, they changed Boosty Kaka. That last team fight was using Baptiste. Now he's on Moira again, and Freedom is now off of the Echo playing the McCree. So a couple big changes here. Stasis moves over to the Reaper as well, like you mentioned. So we have this Reaper v Reaper now. And coming into this next fight, Zwee already has another self-destruct. We saw one come out, and this one will come out now. Will it find anything? No. A little bit of a zoning alt pushes everyone separated amongst the archway, puts them into the bridge. Big Al finds a double kill. Amaze, Zwee, Circuitai, and Blade all finding more kills, and they're able to hold this once again.
Yeah, that was a great combo. So as we used self-destruct, it blew up the shield of Louis, and then we kind of saw it as he was getting back into Meg, but Blade hit a 5-man shatter. This cut all of UTD on the ground. Now they have 8 seconds to touch the car, and it's not going very far.
Yeah, I mean, they keep trying to go the same way. They're kind of splitting their team high ground through the arch as well. Fan the Hammer comes through, nothing of it. And now Louis is hacked, so he can't put the shield up. High Noon will come out. Will he find one? He finds Big Al, who is in the, what I believe was in the Death Blossom at the time, so he falls, and oh my goodness, another kill on Amaze comes out. A little bit of help from his Lucio there. Diamond will fall, Blade will fall, and now it looks like momentum in overtime with no time left on the clock is shifting to the Comets to push this to checkpoint.
And with Freedom on the McCree, it's really good at babysitting supports, but in a neutral fight, he's a bit of a pea shooter. So I'm glad that he finally committed with his team, with the speed, getting that stun. If you can get it above the Ryan shield, is going to help your team a lot. Just loosen up those shields, get more damage into the backline. So UTD getting point A is really impressive because I thought they were going to get stopped. But now Missouri invested time to get onto this high ground, and I think they're going to want to drop and go for an EMP shatter.
Oh my goodness, Big Al gets certified wreck there on the high ground. And the self-destruct doesn't find anyone. We haven't seen much success from either team's self-destruct so far. Diamond and Skiratai will fall. Blade shortly after. Zwee shortly after that. And now Missouri kind of having to back up once again as the Comets continue to push this. They only have 1:45 remaining, and this next turn is a very difficult one, especially with as much high ground control as Missouri looks to hold here, and with Amaze in the backline and going invis with the EMP ready to go.
Oh,
now gets the hack.
Not sure. Yeah.
Ooh. Another self-destruct comes out. No EMP under that Ryan. Was trying to get that shield down. Another Deadeye comes through. Doesn't find anyone. Helps a kill on the Blade though. Amaze able to find Stasis, but he falls shortly after. And Big Al gets hit by a fire strike from Louis, who's been playing pretty nicely today. He finds another kill on the Diamond, and Louis finds a triple kill. And the Comets are looking to push this even further now.
Yeah, UGD just haven't lost a single fight. They're just all playing so clumped up, and how can you possibly break them apart? You got Freedom who can stun them. Stasis puts out a ton of damage. They have consistent healing, but this is a big EMP.
Yeah, that EMP actually took the shield ability away from Louis, so he falls. Kinetic has to drop the beat. Boosty Kaka with Coalescence. That's both support ults out for the Comets. Now, this payload just 0.25 of a meter away from being in the checkpoint once again, but they're losing this team fight, and everything's starting to turn around for them as Louis comes back, and now they get the kills that they need. They push this once again. They were in overtime all the way back at the beginning. And now they're starting to push this successfully, and the whole game is swapped for them. They look in control right now.
Yeah, Missouri are hoping that they can just win one fight to stop this car. A minute and a half, it'll have to be 2, and Amaze needs to work on this EMP, but Freedom, he's going for the Deadeye, and Missouri are pretty well hidden, so this shouldn't affect them. But Big Al, if he can TP behind, get a Death Blossom, get those supports, this is how Missouri can win a fight too.
You know, that's okay from the McCree right there. He pushed everyone back into that corner. Self-destruct comes in. That actually didn't get a kill. It went through the doorway and was kind of hidden from everyone. Big Al Death Blossom, though, finds a double. He finds a third shortly after. And it looks like Missouri may be able to hold this point right here after all. Only 55 seconds on the clock for the Comets. They have to move at breakneck speed. We might see a couple, role swaps here to kind of, couple new characters coming out to get. They need some Nikes, Kiwi. They need some Nikes.
Yeah, when they're up on this high ground, they don't have that long-range damage, but UTD, they're posting up, and they have Coalescence, so UTD, they can have that pressure advantage earlier on in the fight, but Zui has a self-destruct, so Louis has to make sure his shield is extra healthy, because that could be a big bomb.
Yeah, and he does have his ultimate as well, so Louis needs to stay alive. And he will like to use the hammer down. I can't see how many he actually got there. And the hack comes through. That's a 5-man hack. The only person not hacked is Boosty Kaka. It doesn't matter. Coalescence already came out. Zui gets one off the self-destruct. Diamond and Skirantai will fall. And now the Comets are looking like they're going to push this in.
Amaze, I don't know, Missouri just couldn't break the mold. I mean, they were almost full holding UTD Comets, and then as soon as Freedom went to the McCree, and as soon as UTD started playing clumped up, Missouri just didn't know how to break this fortress. Even with EMP, you didn't see Big Al go for too many big TP plays. He knew that he needed to try and break down the shield of Louis to give Blade an advantage in the Rhine fight, and Missouri didn't really capitalize on any winning condition. UTD were always the one firing their ults off first, and Missouri were always backing away, and UTD won every single fight after point A to get 0.3 seconds in their time bank. So Missouri, there's a lot on the line here, so hopefully they can match that too, but if UTD can have a better defense, they'll tie the series.
Someone is going crazy in the chat right now from UTD. They tried to spam some symbols. I feel for them because they're trying to just support their school out here, support their team, support their colors. They push it all the way. They've got 0.3 on the clock if this has to go to a round 3, by the way. So hopefully in their minds, they're trying to hold this, whether it's a full hold or not. They don't want Missouri to get all the way to the end because if they do, they might have some trouble with that time bank.
Ain't gonna look cute. Missouri on the on the attack. Want to bring out a Roadhog. If they expect a close hold, this Roadhog is absolutely going to blow up the shield of Louis, so Tinspire has to matrix as much damage as possible to equalize that shield battle. As Missouri, they're expecting this fight to be close. Someone is above them. Missouri, they're pushing in now.
And Missouri does get a couple damage there. Trying to take out that Rhine shield. Someone on the high ground for the side of Comets, though, just raining down fire. They do get the hack onto him and are able to take him on a mech and burn him shortly after. Big Al gets credit with the kill. Amaze, though, doing big things here himself. As he hacks the health pack. That's standard for him. Able to get out, and another hack comes through. And now Missouri just look dominant on the offensive side. They are completely pushing UTD back as they have to back up. They will reinitiate here with a full team once again. Big Al getting some shots, trying to burn this shield once again. Finds Lucio on cart by himself. Looks like he wants to chase him down. Coalescence coming out. Skiritai trying to do some damage and keep everyone healed up. Stasis does fall. And once again, McCree not able to find anything with the Deadeye. Does find Diamond shortly after, though. Little flashbang, little fan the hammer action. Louis trying to do some stuff on the fountain as well. Big fire strike, able to find Louis. That's Blade. Ryan v. Ryan. Blade does fall shortly after. Big Al as well. I mean, what happened there, Kiwi? They had the advantage and then they just gave it up.
Freedom used his Deadeye in the window and then was able to just roll up into the backline of Missouri, who were just so tunnel visioned in front of them that Freedom ran up behind them and killed their supports. And that really is Zui's job. He's the hybrid tank. With Diva acts as a very mobile tank that can go and peel for those supports while also pressuring the front line. So Zui needed to go after Freedom, Matrix, and put pressure on him so he couldn't kill Skiritai, because Skiritai puts up the most amount of healing for Missouri, so that's the last person you want to die.
Yeah, and Louis now back in the fight, back in the action, kind of playing up top. And Big Al looks like he might be trying to get ready for a big Death Blossom as the EMP comes out. Stasis, Louis, Boosty Kaka, and Boosty Kaka gets stunned. Louis trying to find a way to put his shield back up, but he can't right now, and Blade will find the kill onto him. And Diva self-destruct, that is not going to do anything up there, and gets stuck on the top of the arch, the top of the porch, and kills coming through from Missouri, and the Comets will have to back up and regroup. This will reach checkpoint 1.
Missouri have done already a faster job than Comets, so having 4 minutes, they have a ton of time. So if they want to lose a couple fights, that's fine. But the issue with losing a couple fights here is that UTD, they can get back to the high ground. But Missouri are already making their move to meet them right up there. I'm not sure if everyone is ready, but a Sound Beer engage could be big for Missouri, but UTD, they're calling first.
Yeah, and we think they're coalescing, right? I think that's how it works right now, but finding a kill with it onto Diamond, the symbol there notifies me that she was using the coalescence, if you couldn't tell by the hand gesture itself. Big Al falling to McCree, and you said it's looking like a little pea shooter, but when he plays with the rest of his team and kind of chases people down, he gets the kills that he needs, the big bad sheriff, baby. And Amaze now, Invis behind the team, doesn't have EMP, so he's going to elect to back out. Doesn't have much value back there by himself, especially when the team is grouped up and huddled. A big Deadeye, will this get anyone? No, they are able to get some damage onto someone. No, Fan Hammer comes through, and Stasis does have a Death Blossom. Couple ults for the side of Missouri as well. Big Al's Death Blossom will come out. Ooh, that was 2 Death Blossoms, I believe. Neither find a kill. Blade falls. Stasis finds that one with the shotguns. Diva Bomb comes out, doesn't find anything either, but Freedom picks up 2 himself, and the Comets will hold this for the time being.
I wonder if UTD want to go to this high ground and look above them. At least the McCree, Freedom's close to Deadeye, so it would be a good case. But Amaze, he's looking for a scout. He's looking for a chance to EMP. Now, if EMP's on the high ground, I mean, the rest of Missouri can't really follow up with that. So he really wants to wait for UTD to drop down. Missouri, they're pushing the cart. UTD will have to drop if they want to contest it.
Yeah, they will have to drop. Meanwhile, the payload kind of stops there because you don't have the cover that you had standing in that little corner. And you got to come out and got to get shot. The EMP comes out, and a big hammer down hits 3. Both the tanks will go down. Louis falling deathly low, but he stays alive. Stasis will regen some health from his healer's help as well. Another coalescence comes out, and he finds another kill. Helps out with 2 more. A second one for the side of... Oh my goodness, Diva going off there as well. Tinspire finally stepping up like we said he had to after game 1 performance. And the Comets hold this once again.
This is now a few fights that Missouri have lost at this point, so it's not going to be looking good. 1 minute 10, UTD are on the high ground. They can drop at any time. Missouri can do the same thing of pushing the cart, bait them down, but Comets, they get to decide when they want to fight. And with Skiritai, he's close to coalescence. Missouri, this is a fight they're ready to take. Just be careful of the stuns from Freedom, and he's ready to drop into the back line. Skiritai has to be careful with this coalescence, because Freedom is going to be a vulnerable position. He was at the back, but they turned around. The shatter is way too big.
Oh my goodness, a 5-man shatter. Death Blossom from Stasis finds 2. Big Al returns the favor with one of his own. Does find a second kill afterwards. Self-destruct comes out. Doesn't find anyone. More of a zone type ult there. They find the final kills in Missouri, although they have a little bit more time than the Comets did at this point in the game. They do end up getting a little bit extra time put on the clock there, minute 50 now. They've got to get this to the end. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, 0.3 for the side of Comets if we have to go to round 3.
At this point, if Missouri can win the next couple fights, the timings are going to be pretty close, but the difference is just going to be negligible at this point. Zui can use the self-destruct to try and dislodge UTD from this high ground, but there's a lot of hallways they can hide in, so Freedom's already charging up the Deadeye as Missouri are escaping. The shield couldn't protect them.
Yeah, and they find a big pick on the Lucio with that as well. And now they're all crammed in this corner. They do have self-destruct if they want to use it in there. It doesn't elect they will. And they're going to start pushing this payload once again. Now Missouri looking to win this team fight. If they do, they'll be primed and ready to push this all the way in. Spawn advantage, though, in favor of the Comets. Self-destruct comes out, finds one onto Freedom. That's huge. That returns the favor as Diamond went down. A second kill, and now both Lucio's out of the fight. For each team, a hammer down from Blade, ready to go. Can he get a third big ol' Earth Shatter this time?
Oh, we got a Deadeye being channeled. The shield's starting to be broken. UTD, it's a great sound barrier. This is their best chance to take back this fight, but the damage has already been done.
Yeah, but he gets booped off the point and over the fence. It's going to take him a minute to get back. Freedom doesn't find anything from that. Blade finds 2. Skiritai finds 1 onto his counterpart. Blade finds the Mechless Diva. Big Al finishes off Stasis, and they push this in Missouri. They were looking terrible in that first round, especially with overtime ticking away, but they make a comeback. They look dominant there at the beginning of that round. They kind of pick it up towards the end. They make it through. They have an 18-second advantage going into this third round. It's 3-3 so far. I mean, this is what we expected, Kiwi. Tightly contested games in the semis.
And also, it's an underrated advantage of who gets, depending on who has the bigger time bank, it decides who's attacking first. So with the smaller time bank of 1 minute, UTD are attacking first. So how far can they get with 1 minute? You know, we saw a little bit of some struggles to go to point A. So the best case scenario, they get point A. Because I think 1 minute is just not a lot of time to get a slow rolling push, especially with the composition that they're running. But they can easily snowball this to maybe a point B push. But if they finish, it would just be extraordinary if they can finish the map entirely with the time that they have. So Missouri, they want to do their best to win the one and only fight they need at Archway, or if they want to play close. And looking at this comp, they might want to be playing close, especially with off this McCree.
Yeah, he did elect to, you saw him teleport back to spawn real fast to switch to that McCree, so we will see that instead of the Sombra. Although, so far, I mean, he's played a decent McCree this game so far, but I think in the first game and this game combined, the Amaze on the Sombra is something that I've come to like and think was doing a little bit better than the McCree as of right now. But a couple shots coming out from both B shooters on both sides here. And Freedom trying to find a couple shots and find a couple headshots, maybe find a pick, get this thing rolling big time for the side of the Comets. 35 seconds remaining now. They are going to make it to the Archway, and Diva will hop off the high ground, kind of regroup with the team, and they're going to kind of just deathball it together. They go into this room here. They do have a little bit of time to spend off cart as they try to circle around, trying to gather some ult shards. Both sides not trying to get too aggressive right now as they swap sides, it looks, and the defensive side now looks like they're the offensive team here. Good rotations from both sides. They don't want to get too aggressive. Nobody really wants to fall. And just as I say that, they find a kill on the Louis, and this will open it up for Missouri as the old Reinhardt is there to cover up a lot of damage falling down. And they're finding kill after kill now. 3 kills in favor of Missouri. Coalescence was used. Big Al and Diamond find some kills. Big stun, but he's going to stay alive and he's going to heal back up. And overtime's ticking away. And the Comets look like they might not be able to get this any further than they already have, especially with Blade and Zui. Zui himself picking up 3 kills there.
Yeah, I think the Missouri supports just did that much more. You saw how Missouri, their Moira, they got Coalescence twice as fast as UTD. Just that Coalescence alone allowed their Reinhardt to live, who got pretty below half HP, and then even Diamond was ahead of these sound barrier games. So it just proved that Missouri took a lot of damage, but never died. And that's really the supports making sure this fight stayed alive in general for Missouri. And I like the rotations, taking control of Marketplace. You have this larger area that you can disengage into. So it was an interesting rotation that ended up working out, and Missouri held them at Archway. And now, minute 18, if they can get to that box of victory, Missouri will go 2-0 in the series and also be on series point.
And University of Missouri now coming out on the offensive side. Like you said, they can be up 2-0 if they're able to push this payload past that little golden rectangle you see there, ladies and gentlemen. That's all they need to do is get it right there. 55.06 to be exact, if you want to go down to the number, even though, like me, I'm pretty sure everyone is pretty tired of looking at numbers this week.
I feel you.
But we are going to see the Comets try to hold this here. Louis back on the Reinhardt. A little golden hammer there. Getting a little fancy. Fire Strike comes out. And it looks like the same game plan is coming out from the side of Missouri that the Comets had. Of course, it's more standard, especially when the games are this contested. And there's $5,000 of scholarship on the line here. You don't want to be in third. You don't want to be in fourth. You don't want to be in second. Big stun. Big fan the hammer there. Big kill. Blade finally falls. Now trying to hunt down Diva is Stasis. They will finish off the Lucio, though. That kill coming for the side of Amaze. Zui gets taken out of mech, and both teams electing to back up from each other.
That was a great stun from Freedom, like you had pointed out, but the issue is that we're not seeing a lot of the Divas break away from the comp and maybe try and get a little boost in, try and Matrix, try and apply any sort of pressure. They're playing really safe. This is what I want Zui to do. As soon as he sees a Deadeye, as soon as he sees Freedom, to go right after. He's actually really squishy and needs a lot of babysitting, so Matrixing that damage, especially the stun, you cannot have your Reinhardt die to a McCree stun.
I was going to say, you wanted to see it, and you're getting it right now as you say it. Everything got blacked, and a double kill from Amaze with the Deadeye. He saw him, and a triple kill comes through. Turns around and says, "What are you doing there, son? Get out of here." As they are going to push this through and take game 2. Missouri up 2-0 in the set now. We're going to go to game 3 with the Comets on the edge of defeat and the edge of elimination. Grand Finals appearance is on the line here as my boy Amaze with play of the game. Kiwi, this was the best Deadeye all day so far. He gets the double and turns around in his face, just says hello, goodbye.
Yeah, both teams just gave up their second utility DPS. We're not seeing the Sombras, we're not seeing the Echoes, we're going for the McCree. And I think this is because they want to play clumped up around their Reinhardt. The stun, if you get it above the Rein shield, he will drop the shield, and you could have opportunities for McCree stun plus Earth Shatter from your own Reinhardt, or even a self-destruct on top. There's a lot of opportunities to pair the McCree stun with something that can win a team fight, but also McCree adds a lot of damage. So they're giving up the Sombra. You don't have that clear winning condition of the EMP. They're trying to have a stronger neutral fight, and Freedom was the one who brought out the McCree first, and then you saw Amaze realized he wasn't bringing anything to the table, or at least much more than Freedom was, so he matched the McCree, and it's been working out for Mizzou.
Yeah, and big shout outs to Circuit Tie out there on the Moira. Just a little numbers game here for you. I know you guys hate numbers right now, but this is a collegiate broadcast, so let's break down a little math here. In game 1, 34% of the team damage was taken by Moira, had about 18k healing. This time, same percentage, 34% of the team damage taken again by himself. This time it was like around 29,000 1,000 healing. So he's putting up huge numbers. He's staying alive. He's keeping his team alive as well. And that's allowing his team to just thrive out there on the battlefield. So big ups to Missouri as they take the lead 2-0 here. And Kiwi, I mean, UTD, they're having trouble. We're going to a hybrid map. It could be, of course, my favorite, Kings Row. Who knows? More than likely, we'll see. But, what do they need to do? We saw this problem on Thursday night when we watched SCAD going up against Miami of Ohio. You have these players that are doing big things. But I mean, you gotta change something up. You gotta find a way to get this win. You are on the brink of elimination in this postseason right now.
It's still a really close series. I know the scoreline doesn't always say that, but I mean, there was what, like an 18-second difference between the time banks and Dorado. The first control map was very back and forth. Came down to, I mean, UTD had some winning fight moments. They looked really good this series. I think that Mizzou have figured out that they have the better synergy. They're playing off of their cooldowns really well. If Freedom gets a stun or someone following up with damage, and they're playing off of each other really well. And UTD, they have those moments, but they also have comms that break down when the fights get chaotic. So just keep an eye on that and how Kings Row goes. So at least it'll be chosen by UTD. So that means Mizzou will get to pick the side. So expecting Mizzou to defend. You go back to the Reinhardt composition. The McCree Reaper seems to be the flavor of the month for these guys. You can bring out the May. You can bring out some utility, whether it's the Sombra, whether it's the May, something to play off of, whether it's a May wall for isolation, whether it's a hack from the Sombra. Just give yourself a winning condition in the neutral that doesn't have to be an ultimate.
Yeah, and they've been shutting down Louis, taking out his Rhine shields, immobilizing him when he's on the Hammond. So they're doing a great job of that. And like I said, someone needs to step up and help this man out. I mean, Tinspire, he's kind of looking a little shifty out there right now in my eyes. But we're waiting on this next map call. I believe it might be Eichenwald. If I heard, it is Kings Row. Look at that. I might just become a fortune teller, Kiwi, because I think I've got it in me. We are just a couple of seconds out from gameplay here in Game 3. We're going to Kings Row. Missouri leads 2-0. And for those of you who don't know, Missouri, they're a team full of some characters here. Let's talk about Zui, because there's a lot of people saying that UTD could come back and totally reverse sweep this matchup here. Kiwi, I don't know if you like that one. I tried to fit that one in there. I don't know. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, let me know if she blinks over there. She's not allowed to blink.
I'm forever smiling, but let's see if UTD will still be smiling after this map. So they'll be attacking first. Missouri, of course, defending. Zui, what he has to do is, I think, go after Freedom a little bit more. Freedom's hovering over the fire, which is not as popular of a pick on Kings Row. You just don't have a lot of buildings to hide behind. As the players, I think, have to go through a quick pause. But what I want Zui to do is to use that mobility of the D.Va to apply pressure. If you're just going to be sticking to your Reinhardt, you might as well go Zarya. If you're going to play safe like that, build up your energy and become the third DPS. If you're going to be playing that way, play Zarya. But if you want to try and take advantage of this mobility, go on the D.Va, go after the McCree, go after the Pharah, and especially with how low your cooldown is on the boosters, it's 2 or 3 seconds, he can be constantly harassing whoever's up in the sky. But now that the Pharah is gone, his job is to matrix stasis.
Hey, Zui could do some big things. We don't know, because he looks like a genius in disguise. I mean, he's from Houston, so he's playing up against a Texas school. He's majoring in physics, and he came in 3rd place in a chess tournament in primary school, okay? That is the 13th highest NA tank in the ranked system. He's doing big things out there, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, lots of damage coming out from both sides here. Missouri on the defensive side, though. They do have a maze on that. McCree once again taking big damage to the face, but the Rhine shield goes up to protect him. Zui, though, the man of the hour, goes back into the mech and drops the beat from the side of Kinetic. Boosty Gaga brings out the Coalescence as well. Maze finds one onto the Lucio. Both supports are no ults for the side of the comments. One of them's dead. Spaces just got back. They have the May. Freedom, not much to do for their side, and this will be held by Missouri.
There was so much that happened that fight. First, Zui ate Tidspire's grab, so that was huge. Blade got like a 4 or 5 man shatter, and that helped, of course, the fight. You got a Coalescence that came out from Missouri pretty early, so that was great. So, Missouri, well, they're going to get cornered by a rotation from Hotel UTD. That's a great first wall, but no kill from it.
Yeah, the wall goes up and nothing really much to come of it afterwards. Like you said, Big Al finds one, Amaze finds Lucio once again, and Kinetic has been put in a body bag several times by this McCree, Amaze, already today. So if he just keeps, checking him up at half court, he's not going to be able to help out this Comets team at all so far. Now a regroup's going to have to come through once again. You know, that was a huge first fight. That second fight, a little bit faster, less ults.
All right, but getting a tick is still great. Now they can play off of Freedom's Blizzard. They can speed through Hotel again. Missouri, good job of backing away as soon as possible, dodging that first wall, but the Cole is going to help the defense a lot.
Yeah, the Cole comes out. They're able to find one in the Blizzard, or they shoot the Blizzard, excuse me. Stasis able to fall to Blade, and then a Big Al Death Blossom finds two. He finds a third afterwards. Oh, and he takes her out of a mech. Can he finish this kill? They're going to try and stagger her. That's a good play. Oh, pins her back. This is huge. Oh, my goodness. That was huge. They're going to keep him alive even longer. Now they're going to freeze him. And now they're going to kill him. Oh, my goodness. What a stagger. That's probably one of the most perfect ones I've ever seen, Kiwi.
Yeah, that took a big 10 seconds off, so UTD, at least they got Tinspire back in mech. Glad he didn't swap heroes because he needs that self-destruct, and you're coming down to one of the last couple of fights, 42 seconds. Missouri, bait them into a shatter, bait them into a self-destruct. Missouri, they're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I was trying to gas up Zui with the physics major, trying to say, he might be a genius out here. Blade with the big genius play and the big charge there. Deadeye finds the opposite McCree. Now Zui finds one. That's straight in the face. And the sprays are coming out. The damage is coming out. Wave, hello, because they're in the spawn once again. Oh my god. I still can't get over that pin. That pin was so beautiful because it didn't even kill him. It just took him like Blade had the trajectory all figured out all the way through. Self-destruct will come through for the side of the Comets. It doesn't find anyone. Louis does find Diamond. That's a huge pick on the Lucio. Coalescence out for Skirtai, though. He's been able to stay alive a lot during this matchup so far. And now a Deadeye will come through. Doesn't find any damage, but he finds one kill. Meanwhile, Stasis finds two. Freedom finds a second. Freedom finds a third. And now, with overtime ticking away, they're going to be able to capture this point and get this payload on the move.
Yeah, UTD were so good at dodging there. I mean, Zui put a self-destruct right in the middle of them, and then Kinetic dropped Sound Barrier, which allowed them to live through that and live through all the damage that Missouri were trying to dump into the point before it got captured. So UTD, that took them way too much time to get the point. Even with respawn advantage, UTD, it took them almost to the end to make it get it done. But I like that they're overextending like this. They're sacrificing time on the cart, so they can maybe get this one through Archway, but Missouri, man, they're ready to send Big Al behind there with a Death Blossom, but he's been playing pretty safe so far, so Louis, with the shatter, the stun, didn't connect with Freedom's stun at the same time.
Oh, that would have been nice to watch. Meanwhile, Big Al does fall, and he tried to use the Death Blossom at theirs, and Freedom finds one in his McCree ult as well. Blade will fall, Sirkata falls, Amaze falls, Sweet falls, they're all falling. They're looking like Comets out there, but it's not the Comets who fell. It's Missouri. Comets will keep this cart moving.
Yeah, UTD. It was almost a perfect combo, like we said, with the stun and the shatter, but at close range, UTD held their ground. The Coalescence did them a lot of favors. Of course, that resource advantage is why they won the fight. Now, Missouri can do the same thing. They got Sound Barrier, they got Cole. Maybe get a Maze on the high ground, probably doesn't have time to, but Coalescence starts, and this already finds Kinetic, who was playing away from the shield of Louis. The damage would have been behind that shield anyway, and Missouri are just going to chase down the rest.
Yeah, I mean, the Coalescence goes through it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But at the same time, you got to say, Kinetic, what are you doing? You're not the front line. Skate your butt behind me is what Louis should be saying. Like we said, someone's got to help Louis, and Kinetic was surely not helping him out there. They do have ults, though, to come into this next fight. They will have Freedom, Stasis, and Tinspire. Louis could have a Death Blossom, or excuse me, I just called Reinhardt Self the Death Blossom. But meanwhile, we find a couple shots coming out and Deadeye coming out. But oh my god, a self-destruct in his face. He tried to dodge roll away from it, but couldn't. And now, self-destruct found a maze. Blade will fall. Zui gets taken out. Big Owl falls. Diamond falls. Circuitai falls as well. And now, Comments are looking to continue pushing this through.
This feels a little bit like Dorado, where UTD didn't look like they could do anything on the first point, and then they just snowball it. And I know that's what a lot of teams fear on the defense, of how you can retake a fight when your backs are constantly against the wall, and it's got to be the coalescence from Scary Ties. We can surprise them with the self-destruct, and surprisingly this does a lot of damage to the Rhine shield, but Deadeye starts from Freedom.
Yeah, and they have a Rhine Shield and a Diva to try and block that. They successfully do. Blade and Big Al will fall shortly after, though, and Freedom and now Stasis, the only two members. So it looks like both teams, no DPS characters. Amaze does find his way back, and now Moira, Busikaka trying to get some healing out. Oh, and Zui finds a kill, and so does Amaze. Zui on that high ground, jumps down now, and it looks like they're going to try and hold this again. But like you said, Comments looking a little better here towards the end, like Dorado.
Now 42 seconds, Missouri can hold here. That'll be the end of the road for UTD Comets. And Missouri, they have the self-destruct still. Zui's been holding on to it. Maybe sometimes you could use it as a second life. Once before you die, you pop that, get back into mech. Hopefully your team can hold the ground for you. But Zui can break down the shield with it. They can maybe catch some supports away from the shield if they use that self-destruct, but Freedom's got another Deadeye, and the Soundbear engage starts from Missouri.
Well, he hits 4 members, but doesn't get any eliminations from it. Meanwhile, the Deadeye from Amaze finds one onto the Lucio. Diamond gets killed by the Death Blossom, but Stasis falls shortly after. This is the snowball moment both teams are looking for. Amaze will find a kill on his counterpart. Skiritai will fall, and that's huge. Death Blossom comes out, finds one. Amaze finds Louis on the other end of the payload, and now the champs with the Nikes, as Key would say, are trying to make it here, but they can't. Overtime ticks away. Only 2 checkpoints, so close to the third one. 59.18 meters is the total distance for the side of the Comets. And now on the offensive side comes Missouri.
Yeah, Mizzou had a great Soundbear engage there, and just winning the fight early, getting those kills early. They knew exactly what the plan and how to execute it was. So UTD not finishing the map, that's fine. It's still an impressive feat, but Missouri, the winning condition is set. They can get to the box of victory at the end. They'll be guaranteed even more money. They'll be going to the grand finals to face whoever's on the other side of the bracket, semifinals. But UTD, even if they lose this, they'll go to the third place match, and they're still guaranteed a minimum of $500 in scholarship money. So both these teams have gotten so far, have fought so hard to get to this point, and they're still incredible teams in our tournament.
Kiwi, if I ever lose a competition, I'm coming to you. So you can be like, it's okay, you came in fourth, at least you get this. Yeah, it's okay. No, I want all the money, baby. All the money. $5,000 on the line for first place. One of these two teams will make it to the grand finals to fight for a chance for that. And right now, like you said, Kiwi, it's looking like the University of Missouri as they lead 2-0. They were able to hold a good defense there, although did get pretty far, but if it goes like Dorado, they will be able to make it a little bit further if they play the same kind of style. Here's one thing that I'm interested in. We've only seen Mercy for about 2 minutes today so far. This Lucio Moira comp, what do you think about this? I know it's not that common, and it's kind of, there's some complications to it.
It works, it synergizes well with the composition that wants to go really fast, and you pocket the Reaper. It's going to be your most important hero, the high source of damage, but UTD, they posted up. They didn't even let Missouri get set up.
Yeah, not letting Missouri get set up might be the wise choice here. They find a couple kills. They take Zui out of his mech, which has been dangerous. Zui was out of his mech for most of Game 1 and Game 2, and now in Game 3, he's really stepped it up, and he's become one with the Diva mech himself. Now the regroup coming through for the side of Missouri as they're going to try and push this through again. If Comets can try and hold them probably for about 2 out of the next 3 minutes, they might be looking really good, especially if they can hold them after that initial cap. Hammer down comes through, only finds 2, but it's both their damages. Now, Freedom doesn't find anything from that ultimate himself, but he Goes through Hotel to switch back and get a couple line of sights on the back end of them. And now the push coming through. Coalescence, it's Invis again. I saw it there at the last moment, though. It comes out. A Death Blossom comes out. And I just want to make sure, is that on my end?
Yeah, it's all getting fuzzy for me too, but I think we got a good gist of the shield breaking for UTD Comets and then Missouri just rolling over. But then as they followed up, they lost Blade. But when you got a Death Blossom, you got a Coalescence. Missouri are perfectly fine. They just got the payload.
Yeah, thank you, Kiwi, for making sure that was not me, because, you know, on Thursday it happened twice and I was very livid. I went and got a new router. This isn't supposed to be happening, but luckily it wasn't me. Okay, all right. We're back in the driver's seat here, Kiwi, and we're enjoying as they take Kings Row capture. Now they're going to start pushing this payload. And they weren't able to hold them for the 2 minutes that I initially said, you know, they would be looking good if they're able to do that. Now 4.5 minutes or just under as they start to get this push through. Freedom, though, look to get on this high ground. He does have another Deadeye in his pocket here.
And this archway is going to be a really tough fight for Missouri to break through, but with the self-destruct and Shattered, they have more than enough firing power, but UTD are just going to contest. They're not even going to fight, and they're actually channeling a Deadeye, so Missouri are leaving.
Yeah, they're just going to stand there, and they're just going to say, oh, I've got him, you know?
Yeah.
And then they just run away, but a self-destruct comes through. That finds a triple kill, and Zui is sweeping the floor with the Comets right now as he is trying to push him and his team all the way to the end to get them into the grand finals. Diamond and the rest of the team pick up a few kills afterwards, but Zui, that is the biggest self-destruct we've had all day. And I'm so excited because I love it when you just toss that out like some garbage and it comes back and says, look at all these dead bodies I collected for you.
It's the mind games between you and the other Reinhardt. The McCree's going to help get that stun above the shield. It can open up that Earth Shatter opportunity as Maze is channeling that. That's going to break down the shield of Louis, so UTD might have to back away and regenerate that shield before they want to attack.
Yeah, Louis, that shield, they need to regenerate theirs as well. Meanwhile, Missouri backing up, but they are getting chased like the hounds are on them. Comets trying to hold this. There is just under 3 minutes. Couple ults for the side of Missouri. It's their supports. Meanwhile, Louis, the only one with one right now, but they will have a Deadeye after a couple shots, and they are going to bring it out. Can they find any value from it? No, sir. The Diva Matrix able to block those even through the doorway. Coalescence comes through. They drop the beat as well, and that's a speedy little Cole right there as they find 2 kills from Big Al and Skier Attack. Blade finds the third now. Ooh, that didn't find anyone.
Yeah, that wasn't cute. But Missouri, they'll be getting point B from this, and they got a lot of time to go into point C. They'll have Shatter. They got Death Blossom. I want to see Big Al go to that top right, see if he can drop, and Stasis or Big Al, whoever gets that high ground positioning is going to have a huge advantage to be able to look down and drop down when they want. But looks like Comets posted up a little bit too early, so now it's going to be the shield battle where you can see that Blade is already losing it.
Yeah, and McCree, the shield went down, so Maze will fall to the Deadeye. Another kill, but this time onto Louis, and now another Ryan shield goes down, and he's having trouble himself. Oh my goodness, a Death Blossom from Stasis finds 2, and Stasis finds a 3rd. Freedom helps out and finds the 4th kill. The Comets hold this, and you know, Kiwi, I love it when you are so passive-aggressive, because you know, the Diva Bomb goes out, and you're like, yeah, that's not cute. Moving on. That sucked. But a couple cute looking plays there as Kiwi might be satisfied with that Death Blossom and then the triple to finish it off. Re-engaging now into this team fight. A Coalescence will come out. Louis with the Earth Shatter finds 4 members of Missouri. Fresh that 5. They're able to kill 3 of the 5 that went down. And Dee and Amaze are chilling on the point as they're just, you know, trying to get killed so the stagger doesn't come out. I think he should have just jumped off at that point. You could jump off in a little crack.
Maybe. Skiritai also used Coalescence and Missouri still lost that fight. So UTD, they have a Coalescence and they have more healing in this fight. Stasis is trying to go to the right side, but he's already been found by 3 members and hopefully he lives through. He got some help, and UTD with 6 versus 5, they're pushing it.
Yeah, Diamond falls pretty early on in the fight. That's huge because that's a Lucio. Both teams using that Lucio and Moira composition that we talked about, or you talked about shortly before this round began. Self-destruct from Tinspire is available. So is Death Blossom from Big Al. He's found a few kills this round with it. But so has the Stasis Reaper. So both Death Blossoms really working well here. Big stun. He gets dropped, and a Deadeye's going to come through, standing behind his tanks. He can't be found by the opposition, and he won't find a kill. And now it's Freedom's turn for the Deadeye, and he will find one on the blade. That's a huge kill. No big shield for the side of Missouri now, and they're looking to get some healing going through. Self-destruct came through, didn't find any kills. Blade is shortly going to have his Earth Shatter, but nothing else to pair with that.
Well, 1 minute left for Missouri to get back, and they've lost just so many consecutive fights. A good little wall. They've gotten Louis away, but not fast enough, and he's still right beside Blade, and the sound barrier was just used from UTD. They're going in.
Yeah, and Blade falls. Triple kill from the Death Blossom. Stasis finds another one. That's his second this round and the second within this proximity here. And now it's Stasis' turn to go off. We were watching Zui go off earlier in this round. Now it's Stasis' turn. And they have 38 seconds. They've got to push this. They've at least got to get 59.18 to push this and win this. And a big Earth Shatter finds two. Big Al swept into the May, but he instantly gets taken out. And Diamond finds a double kill. Blade finds a double of his own. Blade finds a triple. Amaze will find, and Blade with a fire strike finds a quadra kill. And they're pushing this again.
Finally, Missouri won a fight. It took them several minutes just to get through the corner. And now the final fight, they have to win the box of victory there. The grand finals ticket in their sights. Missouri, they have Bomb. They'll have the support ultimates. UTD, they don't have anything.
Yeah, but they are close to a Big Al all on the tilt maze, so we might see something big from that. If he can get a couple headshots, he may be able to charge it fast enough. Coalescence comes out. Amaze falls early on for Missouri, so now the Comets have the advantage in this fight, and they have been winning fights like this on this map here so far. Can they do it again? Self-destruct's available from Zui. He's going to have to use it soon. Sound barrier comes out from Diamond. That'll keep his team alive for a little bit, but they have no Reinhardt, who once again was not able to charge his ultimate before he goes down. Self-destruct comes out. Amaze with the Nikes on, finds a kill on the Stasis. Kinetic finally finds a kill on the Zui. They get rid of him. Diamond, Big Al, they find kills, but Amaze and Spirit Guide fall, and overtime is ticking away. A big Earth Shatter, but it's not going to be enough, as UTD will win game number 3 here and push this to a game 4.
You just think about if Diamond's sound barrier was just 1 or 2 seconds earlier, if they could have saved their main tank, Missouri could have went all the way. They tried to combine the Blizzard and the self-destruct. It only got the D-Mech. It was a really great disengage from UTD because they could have got team wiped just by all of that alone. But UTD, Missouri, they didn't have a Reinhardt. They didn't have anything protecting them. UTD were able to Deadeye in their face, and Missouri couldn't really do anything about it. I really thought Missouri were going to be winning that, but because they sacrificed so many minutes at the start of point C, they didn't put themselves in the best position to get to the box of victory. So, but a big shout out to UTD for keeping themselves in the series.
Yeah, big shout out again. I mean, Kinetic was kind of getting picked out a bunch of times, so he wasn't in the fight as much as his team would have liked. But once he started staying back behind his team, as the support should, and as that Lucio wasn't getting too aggressive or overly aggressive when he didn't need to, that's when they really started to pick it up and started to make themselves more prominent in the matchup, started winning team fights. They were getting ult charge, pretty much every single team fight as well. So, I don't know. Missouri, they kind of fell apart there towards the end. They played this exact same style of game in the second match or the second game on that Dorado. This time, I mean, they didn't play so well doing the same thing. Some big improvements coming from UTD. We're going to game 4 here.
Yeah, we're going into game 4. Looks like we have to take a bit of a break, and so our teams are ready. So we'll see you guys on the other side.
never ever find the right words. And there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl. So I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. Going with the gut, never had a doubt, felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us now. We know I ain't ballin' yet, hoes wanna holler, oh no, I don't call them back. Girl, let me see you hold it down, we gon' have a blast. Cause I just wanna know what you gonna do with all of that. Ain't gotta say a word, I know what's up, you can have it all. Watch me rip it off, I'll admit it, you got me feeling hella loved. Even when it's going down, know that we gon' live it up. Young shot caller, always been a baller. Know that you the one, I can feel it in my heart. Yeah, I won't stop charging me, go and come harder. I can see you and I, way beyond the stars, girl. I can never ever find the right words. And there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl. So I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. It feels right. It feels right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're going to be heading into game number 4 with the University of Missouri versus UTD comments very shortly. But first, a little bracket update for you, as we already have one of our grand finalist contenders, and that would be the University of Miami from Ohio. They were able to defeat University of North Texas Dallas. We don't know the set score as of right now, but I mean, at that breakneck speed, I would have guessed it's probably a 3-0. And I don't know about you, Kiwi, but I kind of expected to see Miami of Ohio in the grand finals.
Yeah, they look like a super strong team when we saw them just was it wipe the floor with Scat, I want to say. They look insane, but the series is also looking pretty spicy. It's now 2-1 for Mizzou. UTD just took Kings Row. It was really close. Like UTD are just barely holding on, but they're really sticking to this McCree Reaper. I want to say it was Mizzou that brought out the May, and it's been interesting. And we've been whichever team it was, we were talking before the break about how the May works, and not so much of a popular pick when the roads are so wide, like in Point C. But the main winning condition around that is that you try and get a May wall behind the Reinhardt, and then you try and speed into the Reinhardt and kill him immediately.
Yeah, but like you said, when both teams have a Lucio, it's kind of that Lamau, I'm out of here,
Yeah.
that mentality. So we are going to Volskaya Industries for our game number 4. So a little difference here in play styles we could see, but I'm expecting pretty much the same thing from both teams, especially if Missouri starts to lose towards the end there and they get desperate and they pull out that tilt May again. I'm expecting that again, but I'm expecting Reapers on both sides. I'm expecting maybe even a McCree. That's been working for both teams at certain situations right now. But there's a lot of people in chat calling for the reverse sweep from the comments. So if they're able to take this, they make it one step closer to the grand finals and one step closer to that reverse sweep.
Yeah, I like that Stasis is experimenting a little bit with his Reaper play style. You saw at the end of Point C on King's Row, he was able to TP and actually got a double kill, but the fight was kind of already lost at that point. So usually when you Reaper TP, you want your team to take the attention away, sure, but you want to TP sort of early on in the fight, so the team is looking both ways and you can win the fight based off of that. You don't want to TP after the fight's already started and you've already lost and you're just trying to salvage it at that point. So the Reapers have been playing really safe, but you're seeing Stasis experiment, and I've been liking to see that. And Zui is also getting more confident on the Diva, diving after people like Freedom on the McCree, and that's exactly Diva's role in this particular composition, is to act like that hybrid flex tank that can peel for the supports, but also use that mobility to their advantage.
Yeah, and we're only a couple seconds out from game number 4 beginning. But for those of you who don't know at home, if you go and check the twitter.com/UCEAGG, there was an MVP team that was created, kind of like the all-star team from the regular season, and 3 members from the University of Missouri were put on that list. So this team, they are still the higher seed. They're the number 1 overall seed in the entire league. There was 2 divisions, and they are still something dangerous here. As Amaze playing the Invis Sombra, trying to check the spawn doors, see what they're going up against here. And I can just see and tell you what they might go up against. We might see Stasis on the Genji. Speaking of Genji, if you do your homework on Big Al, who is, pretty prominent in the contenders scene most recently, plays a lot of Genji. We haven't seen him on today. He's elected to go Reaper a ton of times, and that's what he's going to once again here as they try to push through the left side in the garage. Let's see if they're able to get to the objective and get some kills and start this game number 4 on a good note.
Yeah, this is your typical rotation on the top left side, and UTD, they're going to be able to just do more of a poke phase until these Sombras get into position. Hacking that health pack is going to favor the defense. I'm imagining Amaze already did that, and Missouri are waiting for UTD to approach.
Yeah, and like you said, typical rotation, but it's starting to fall apart for the side of Missouri as Zui will fall down, and that's a huge pick. He's been doing wondrous things in the last game, and they're going to jump on Reaper, but he's going to be able to get out. And now, hammers are flying, and members of Missouri are falling. Skirtai and Blade will fall. Diamond goes down to the punch. Melee as well. Now it looks like this point will be captured. They're going to have to give this up if they're Missouri, and they're going to just have to try and hold point B or point 2. Problem is that they have a lot of time on the clock here from the side of the Comets with 5:44.
It is a bit harder to defend point A, so, you know, we'll forgive it, we'll let it slide, but that fight also went a long way, so you have ultimates. UTD are just speeding into this point. They're already channeling Deadeye. Somebody from Comets pushed Missouri forward, and that's 6 versus 5 for UTD.
A maze does fall in the Deadeye. The May wall went up, but it didn't really block much. And that's the May coming out. We were talking about once again, when they're on their heels, they pull out that May. They've done it all day so far, and kills are coming everywhere for the side of the Comets, and they just keep going, and they're moving at breakneck speed here. A big hammer down to keep him from getting to the point and contesting. And that was a quick round one from the side of the Comets. They look like a completely different team compared to game 1 and game 2.
UTD, we capital rush in the rush comp. They just
40 seconds, Kiwi.
Just insane. 5 minutes is almost the best time bank you could have hoped for UTD and Missouri. They can do the same thing, sure, and that means we might die of old age by the time this map is done, because we got to keep cycling until these time banks turn 0, but UTD looking like a whole different team, speeding in, playing off of their Reaper, and Missouri not knowing how to disengage and not knowing whether they should stick around and shield battle, and just kind of being indecisive has caused them to be quite run over by a train. Like, that is UTD.
Yeah, Louis stepped up even more. I didn't know that was possible tonight. But Freedom on the McCree, a.k.a. McFreedom out there, is creating a lot of space and getting the picks that he needs. This time they're on the defensive side. They're going to take high ground on that middle house. That's more standard than most people would realize, especially early on in the Overwatch days. But now they've got to hold this, and even if they don't hold this first one, they can hold the second one and still win this game, especially if they're able to get some ult charge in this first fight, if they give up point 1. But, I mean, that was a fast... 5:04 left in the bank, Kiwi. They did that in 40 seconds. I remember saying they had 5:44 on the clock, so that was incredible. Missouri's going to have a tough time trying to match this, but they shouldn't think about matching it. They should just think about getting in there and capturing both these points, pushing this to another round, and staying alive, finishing this off. And meanwhile, that rotation's coming through. Diva now trying to get through there, boot people around on the stairs. Defense matrix once the shield goes down. And now electing to try and get some shots in the back line is Sweet. They know where they are. They have the intel. What can they do with it? More shots going out. They will find one on the diamond, but Blade retaliates with a charge on the Freedom, and that's huge. Now Reaper down here on the objective, and Stasis will lose that one. Blade did fall though. Coalescence comes out from Boosty. He'll find Big All, and now Zui gets taken out of mech. As soon as he gets back, a Maze will fall as well, and then Zui will finally fall. And my goodness, Louis swinging the hammer and putting his foot down, saying this game is mine right now, as they're able to hold it a lot better than Missouri did their first time around.
And that was a really risky rotation from UTD to just come from behind against Missouri, who were already on the high ground. UTD just chased them around. They got stuck into a smaller hallway. UTD, if it wasn't for the Matrix of 10, they would have lost Stasis, and they would have lost the fight. So the tanks really protected their DPS there. The Coalescences were mirrored. UTD was so back and forth, and now they're starting to surround Missouri, where they're trying to rotate.
Yeah, they look like chickens in the hen house right now as they're trying to surround them, and the Wolves are named the Comets, as that's a big hammer down, and they find kills galore. Zui jumps off the map, and once again, the Comets stop them. 2:10 on the clock. They're going to have about just under 2 minutes by the time they get back to this rotation and try and engage in this next team fight.
Okay, so Missouri coming up with the Coalescence. And I think they just got to take a fight early. They keep trying to get to the high ground, but UTD just won't let them. They keep chasing them around. So Missouri, UTD are just controlling them like puppets. And now Missouri have cornered themselves in this building, where UTD are on the other side with support ultimates. Deadeye being channeled. Missouri will easily able to escape that. They're on the high ground. They can get on the point, maybe even squeeze away a second tick, but the self-destruct's right in the middle, and Diamond gets booped into it.
And that's the Lucio fall into the self-destruct. The Maze doesn't find anything with the Deadeye, and more kills coming in favor of the Comets as they are looking astounding. Stasis finds a double kill. He finds a triple kill. Can he find a fourth? There's no one left to even try for it. And the comments, once again, they go inside this house, and then do you see when they like swap to the other inside the other building? They didn't even try to shoot anyone when they came outside. They just ran like they were trying to hide from a ghost, man. They are getting pummeled. This time they elect to go right side through the stairs and on this high ground as they try and make it through the hallway. Different rotation. Maybe this will work out for them. They do have Blade and Big All with ults ready to go. But once again, a hammer down from Louis. They find 2 on that one, and Blade falls. That means one member with the 2 ults I mentioned is gone and not available. This could be last fight territory, and it looks like it might be as the staggers are starting to come out. Diamond does find a kill on the Stasis finally. The Ryan is trying to make it back. That's Blade. He does have his ult still available. Self-destruct available for Zui. Can he find anything with it? Big Al will find the kill. Finally, Missouri finds some kills, and it looks like they may be able to capture this with time ticking down to 0.
They're just at a timing disadvantage already, though, so this still doesn't look good. Like, even if they win this fight, they'll still be down by at least 2 minutes. So, and I think that was up to Big Al living longer than Stasis. You saw Missouri needed to remove that damage, and they won just based off of that alone. So Missouri, they can snowball into this. They have almost all their ultimates for at least Coalescence push for sure, and self-destruct for Zui once they get established will help them keep the objective.
And here's the high noon call. It finds one on the diamond once again, and McFreedom's been taking that Lucio out all day once Game 3 initiated his power mode. And then a big Earth Shatter finds 3 members. They get 2 kills off of that, and now he's spinning around. He's not able to find any more kills. Zui was on his way there. He's going to back up. The comments will take control of that point once again. Here's the thing. They have 2 minutes. They're going to have under 2 minutes by the time they regroup and get back. That's a long spawn walk from them. The thing is Kiwi, they can't worry about how much time they have. They have to cap this point.
And their best chance was right there. They only invested the Coalescence to Shatter. You'll get that up pretty quickly, but you wish you would have had the snowball. Now UGD are fully established on the objective, and you're going to have to push them up. So maybe you engage with the self-destruct, but you see Zui just almost barely lost a mech right there. There's so much long-range damage coming from UTD, and there's a self-destruct engage. This will blow up the shield of Louis, and hey, you'll take kinetic with it.
Yeah, and Death Blossom finds a triple kill, and he finds a quadra Stasis. He finds the mech as well. Almost 5 kills for Stasis. He's been going pretty brazy as of lately in this matchup as well, but oh my goodness. Louis, Stasis, Freedom, they're doing big things for their teams. This is what we were calling for. Someone had to step up. Stasis was doing well throughout the entire match so far. Now Freedom on the McCree stepped up. High noon comes out. Can he find anything from this one? He's looking for that Lucio, which he's found multiple times already. He's not able to find him. Coalescence comes out. The kill goes on to Amaze. Scare time falls. Big Al, Blade, Diamond, they all fall. And 40 seconds remains. University of Missouri are on the brink of letting the Comets tie this set up 2-2.
It's not looking good. Missouri only 30 seconds. If they don't end with time, then they will not get a chance to attack, and they'll have to play for the draw, which I think in this case will not count for anything. And Missouri, they have the support ultimates. They just need to set up on the point. Comets have been denying them any space. They have Cole, they have a sound barrier, but you want to use that at the end. The Coalescence starts. They need to keep Blade up. They've already pressured UTD in the corner. Missouri, this is their best chance.
Yeah, nobody was in sight for that Deadeye, so he won't find anybody. Big Al finds a double off the Death Blossom, but they're still getting pushed off point. Big Al finds a third. Diamond finds one, however, and now University of Missouri look to be in the driver's seat as they are looking to push this through. Overtime's ticking away. They've got no time in the bank left. Sweet, Big Al, Amaze, they find kills. Amaze finds another, and this will be a complete push here, but the thing is they'll have 0, so Lethal get 1 minute on the clock, but I mean 5:04. Comets are still in the driver's seat for this.
Yeah, UTD only have to get the 33% to send us into a game 5, and that's more than enough time to cycle through every single Overwatch hero twice and get ultimates and try different things. And it's not impossible to defend, but just seems unlikely when they hadn't won a single fight on the defense in this map alone. And UTD, they're very seeming like a momentum-based team. If you think back on Dorado, they really sucked at point A, and then all of a sudden they just won every single fight and finished the map. Same thing with Kings Row, getting all the way at the end when they struggled at the beginning. So it seems like once UTD find their footing, you just can't stop them.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know what to say. They were looking. The roles have totally swapped. I mean, they were looking like what Missouri looks like right now early on, and now they look dominant. And with a lot of time in the bank, like you said, 33%, that's enough, you know, just to swap through every character. Maybe they'll do it for the memes, but when $5,000 in scholarship money is on the line and you're trying to make it to grand finals, you ain't playing around. And the comments mean business. We kind of scouting, seeing what's up and what characters are coming at their face. I mean, if I had to guess, it's the same ones they were successful with as up to this point. They're going to go through Garage once again, and this time they're able to get through, unlike their counterparts who were stuck in these rooms for so long last round. And Freedom trying to find some damage. Meanwhile, Boosty Kaka does fall. That's a rare sighting, but he does. They do trade out the kill, however. Spawn advantage in favor of the Comets, however, so he'll be back in time. Boosty, as I'm speaking of, a couple more shots coming out. They are on the low ground, so they traded now. Missouri trying to hold them off, and now the point might be starting to tick away for the side of Missouri, or excuse me, the Comets, and they're on there, and they're starting to tick it away. They're so close to getting this done. A Shatter comes out, he hits 2 with it. Are they able to finish that off? Big Al finds a triple kill. Skiritide finds one, Blade finds the mech, and now it's just a mechless Diva who finally falls along with one.
Ooh, that got so close at the end. I mean, they almost capped at 33%. Missouri barely holding on, but it's okay. UTD, they have another 344, and this time they're winning condition, playing around the Coalescence. That's something Missouri don't have. Play around the Sound Barrier later on in the fight. That's something Missouri don't have. Freedom, well, he has the Deadeye. He likes to channel in the safest positions, and look, already 6v5 for UTD.
Oh man, he finds Diamond, that's the kill you need. He finds the Lucio once again. He finds another kill on the Blade. Skiritide goes down, Big Al goes down. Louis now with a double kill. Freedom finishes off his triple. And UTD will win game number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, the first time this has happened on our broadcast this season, we're going the full set. We will see a game 5, Kiwi.
This is insane stuff. I mean, yeah, UTD, they just rolled things. They didn't lose a single fight, and there's you, Louis, on your play of the game. The team is Shatter. UTD forcing the game 5 after being down 0-2. The reverse sweep, it's imminent. And I'm thinking these players need a break. Blue, I think we need a break. I think we need to grab some popcorn, actually. So I'm going to throw it to a quick break. We'll see you guys on the other side.
To get off that darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. just from beneath the sand. Please don't take me, girl, seem so far away. Across this universe, she lives another day. I know the reason she stays. I know the reason she's so far away. I know the reason she stays. I know the reason she's so far away. We go home, when we run from everything we have done. It only takes us one more day to run. We go home, when we run from everything we have done. It only takes us one more day. We go home, I know the reason she stays. We go home, I know the reason she's so far away. We go home, I know the reason she stays. We go home, I know the reason she
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Unified Collegiate Esports Association broadcast. My name's Real Blue. A little bit of a caster change here for you, as our friend Lemon Kiwi had to bounce out of here and do some prioritized things. So thank you to her. Big ups to her. She's great. I enjoyed casting with her. But joining me now is Jag for Game 5, and he'll go all the way through the grand finals with me. So everyone give a warm welcome to Jag with me. Jag, I hope you've been watching the first 4 games, because we've got a reverse sweep still in motion and a doozy on our hands.
Absolutely. And again, props to Lemon Kiwi, a great caster. And I'm happy to be here. Coming in just a little bit early before the grand finals. And it might be reverse sweep time. UTD, they were down 2 maps going into map 3. And since then, they have been in control of the series. Volskaya very much in their favor. So Mizzou, they were the #1 ranked team coming into these playoffs. And now they might not even be able to reach the grand finals.
Yeah, #1 ranked team, but the #1 team who's favorited to win the grand finals is already ready and waiting in the bracket. Their name, Miami of Ohio, with that guy that we always talk about, Fozix, as they await the winner of this Game 5 between UTD and University of Missouri. The #1 seed being Missouri overall in the bracket, but they are having a tough time right now. Game number 5 is being set up, and the players are getting ready right now. But let's talk about where we're going, and that will be Ilios. So, Jag, you watched these, we watched them on Busan. We watched their other maps as well, their hybrid, their control, their escort. So what are you looking for here on Ilios, another control map? What do they have to do differently? Because this went in favor of Missouri, although it was a close fight there in round 1 and round 2 of the Busan map.
I'm just wondering if these teams are going to break the mold and stop going for those mirror matchups. You saw on the last maps in particular, they run that Reaper and McCree, and it seems like UTD, they're finally finding their footing with that competition. It's not going in the favor of University of Missouri. So do you keep running that after, it hasn't worked out? Now with Control, 3 different unique points. You've already won 1 control map today. Can you finish it out on that last one?
I don't know, but we'll see as we head into our game number 5. Chat, spam UTD if you're hoping for the reverse sweep. If you got a number 1 emoji or a tiger, throw it in there for Missouri if you think they're able to pull this out and not let UTD come back on them. Here we are on Ilios. Missouri versus the Comets, game 5 of the semifinals. Here we are, and now we see Big All coming out on the May this time. He's not even going to play around with McCree or, his Reaper or anything else. He's coming straight out with this May. They're going to try and wall off Louis, get the kills that they need. There's still that Lucio on the other side from Kinetic.
Yeah, and this is a very interesting pick. They do get the wall, but there is a lot of movement on the side, but there it is. Louis going to fall.
Yeah, Louis will fall. They get the wall. That was successful. Wasn't able to run away over there on the statue side. That was a good block from Big Al. This time it's working out for him. He gets stunned in return. Freedom finds the kill, and it looks like Freedom's McCree is a little bit better than Amazing's all day today so far. And Freedom finds another kill. Tinspire finds 2 from himself, and Stasis helping out as well. And the Comets will capture for the first time as they inch closer to finishing this off. 5% and counting. They will have ults coming into this, and one of them, the Deadeye, which they have used successfully in their last 2 games now.
Yeah, there it is. It's going to be online, but there isn't going to be a wall. It's not going to be able to block the damage, but there is the D.Va Eat that's going to come in just in the nick of time.
And May getting the big old stun once she came out of the ice block. Nice patience there. Big hammer down comes through. Finds, I think 1 or 2. Couldn't really see a lot of shields, but Death Blossom does find 2 from Stasis, and Freedom finds 1 again onto Amaze. I mean, Amaze, it's time to swap off. Maybe bring the Sombra back or something, because your McCree is absolutely getting manhandled by Freedom, along with Diamond and the Lucio as well. Freedom is finding the shots and connecting for the kills. Now coming back for another team fight here, 52% and climbing for the Comets as they inch closer and closer. Deadeye coming out from Amaze. That's the first one from him. Maywall was kind of blocking him. He had to call for his team to put it down. And now in retaliation, Freedom brings out his. And neither will find any kills. And both teams still with 6 alive. A D.Va Met coming out across the sky. Doesn't find anyone. Now the Blizzard will go up. Will this freeze anyone? And the only member that was in it was the Freedom. And he gets taken out. Another member was pinned out of it. He got killed shortly after. Blade will fall for the side of Missouri. Stasis gets credit with the kill. Lucy Kaka on fire, getting the healing onto the Rhine as if it's his last moment. He will get frozen and killed. Skiratai will go down, but Stasis and Louis fall as well, and Amaze will fall. This fight is still going, and it's 95%, almost 99%. The Comets in overtime in its last fight territory for the side of Missouri. Freedom trying to do everything he can. They take Tinspire out. They take Boosty Kaka out. Mechless Zui is still alive, and the Comets have to back up here.
Yeah, now it's going to come down to Freedom's High Noon. We have seen that they've used it twice. Maze has another one online as well, and it just hasn't found any kills yet. You've seen that Zui has done a great job with that defense matrix, able to eat up the bullets just as they fly out of that gun. And University of Missouri, they took a long time to get that point back, but now in have position, and they have ultimates to use on their side.
High Noon comes out, couple hit markers, but no kills. Now in retaliation, the High Noon from Amaze finally finds a kill, and it's a huge one onto Stasis. And Louis with the hammer down, he finds 1 member. Although he's falling low, the beat gets dropped, and now they've got the sound barrier available. And the Blizzard comes out, headshots onto the McCree, they find Freedom. Amaze, Diamond, they fall. Big All falls. And now the D.Va Met comes out, nobody there. And oh my goodness, this will go in favor of the Comets.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see that reverse sweep. The momentum is on their side. They are only 1 point away now on Ilios from winning the entire series and punching their ticket to the finals. And a big play there was that Blade had that shatter online, but never was able to use it. They died before they could get it off. We saw Louis just playing a more aggressive Reinhardt style, and it paid off there for UTD. Now we're going to see a bit of a comp switch from Missouri. They're going to be running the double shield with Zen and Brigitte. This is a very different comp than what we've seen so far from them. One that might work out a bit in their favor as we're going to go to Well. They're going to be able to play farther back, just go for that spam long-range damage.
Yeah, the Comets staying with what's been working the last 2.5 games where they've found success and tied this set up. Meanwhile, like you said, Missouri totally swapping everything over except for Zui, who is still on the champ he's been doing pretty well with, and that's Diva. Now, pretty standard rotation coming through here. So he's going to back up and go a little bit towards the opposition side of the map, but he's going to get focused down. Excuse me, that's Big Al. Lucio has to get out, and now he's going to push into Amaze's face, who elects to back up. Freedom trying to find a stun onto the Diva, trying to get some shots, finds a headshot on the Blade to finish him off. Stasis finishes off Zui. That's both tanks for the side of Missouri, and this point is going to be captured by the Comets to start this round 2 off. They are just 95% away from completing the reverse sweep now.
And I'm really confused by what Missouri is doing here. The Orisa I like, but you cannot play it with a Diva, not in this meta, not after all the nerfs that Orisa has had. You really need a Sigma or a Reinhardt, some other sort of shield that you can use it in combination with the Orisa. Now you're going to see Comets. They're just going to play super aggro with that Lucio speed.
Yeah, they don't even care about the people that are flanking behind them. They are going straight into the face of Missouri right now. You might be the #1 seed, but we are not letting you breathe, and that is the whole thing happening right now. A big stun, a big headshot, and Freedom looking absolutely cracked on this McCree this game.
You're going to see now Missouri, they're going to swap over to a Reinhardt as well as the Reaper. So now they are going to go for that mirror matchup, but is it too late? Already 50% on the point for the Comets. They have the cool lessons. They have the high nude online already that beat not too far away. It's been all Comets so far, and they're not looking to slow down anytime soon.
Yeah, and we might just see at least one of the 2 Texas teams that were left in the semifinals in the finals here as a big Deadeye finds a double kill on the Skirakai and Amaze. Blade retaliates with a kill of his own, but it doesn't matter. Stasis, Louis finds a double kill, and the Comets edge even closer and closer to finishing this off.
Yeah, right now, all that Missouri's going to have is that Diva Bomb online. Maybe if Blade is lucky, swings a little bit, will get that shatter in the nick of time. But Comets, they used 2 ultimates. Now they're going to have 3. They're going to have that Sound Barrier, a Diva Bomb of their own, and that Reaper Death Claws. And we've seen Stasis hit so well so far. Now Mizzou, this is last fight territory for them. If they lose this, their run is over.
Yeah, this big money, big scholarships on the line here. Dead Blossom from above. It finds 1, it finds 2. The rest of the team found some kills as well. And UTD with the reverse sweep. They've been calling it in chat ever since game 1 finished. Ladies and gentlemen, UTD Comets, bang those drums, baby, because you're going to the grand finals. The reverse sweep, I can't say it enough. Big sound barriers from Kinetic. He was playing a little lackluster at the start of the series, but the 2-man boop there helps the team finish it off. Oh.
Yeah, that's a big boop right there. It stopped the Diva from being able to contest because they had to use their boosters just to get back up onto the map. And for Missouri, they aren't going to go to the finals. They still have that 3rd place matchup, though, so they can still win a good amount of money. Some of that scholarship money could still go in their favor. No matter what, they'll walk away with something. Just the question is, will they finish a 3rd or 4th? Meanwhile, for UTD, they just played one hell of a series. They got that reverse sweep, and it's not over for them. It's not nearly over at all. As you said, Miami, Ohio, they are waiting for that grand final matchup. It's going to be happening very, very soon. There is no rest for the wicked.
Hey, I mean, I said it at the beginning of the set, someone's got to step up and help Louis as well as Stasis. Those 2, they were doing well in that game 1. They did well in game 2. Stasis kind of fell off a little bit, but Freedom, aka McFreedom on the McCree, has stepped up to the biggest stage here in Collegiate Esports tonight so far. The bigger stage will be grand finals. Let's see if he can keep that momentum going. I mean, Louis, though, in that last game, 7 Earth Shatter stuns. Guess how many of those were kills? All 7. 100% kill rate on the stuns in that game. Louis playing out of his mind at the main tank. McFreedom, aka Freedom, is still playing well on that McCree. Let's see if they can keep that up. Stasis even stepped up. You know, once Freedom started getting kills and pressuring the opposition there. It allowed Stasis and Louis to kind of breathe and keep doing what they were doing. Kinetic stepped up as well. I mean, and Boosty Kaka, I mean, that guy, I don't think he died much often. I think he died like 4 times the whole day so far. So, Jag, we got an exciting finals coming up. We're going to go to a break here shortly. It's going to be a little bit of a while until it's going to be a little bit of a break here. But, I mean, hey, grand finals coming up next, baby.
It's going to be hype.